Now I'm going to sign this executive order.
What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and President Joe Biden just came out and signed executive orders and gave a speech where he discusses the economy and abortion, and he says these upcoming midterm elections, you must go out and you must vote, vote, vote. I'm going to get you caught up on the latest. This is your breaking news stimulus check update and stimulus package update. Now, I've been hearing a lot of people saying they're planning on voting, but it's not going to be in favor of the Democrats or Biden if they don't do something soon to help out the economy. As take a look at these headlines that are coming out, you guys. 88% of Americans say the U.S. is on the wrong track. 9 out of 10 people right now disapprove of the way things are being run by the administration. Polls find the majority of Americans say the country is heading in the wrong direction. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are things just not on the right track? Well, we're hearing the main grievance from Americans right now is the state of the economy. And they feel like President Biden and Democrats that are in full control of Congress are addressing all of these other issues, but they're not addressing the economy, inflation, gas prices, stimulus checks, child tax credits, all of the things that have been promised and have not yet arrived. And they're saying, hey, don't expect us to vote in favor of you in these midterm elections if you're not going to keep your promises. And we're hearing of a potential red wave that's on the horizon. Take a look, you guys. Most in a new poll say that the federal government's actions are hurting them financially, or the lack thereof of those actions. And we're actually hearing that right now, the Federal Reserve, they're planning to crank up those interest rates. And right now, there is major concern about a real estate market crash coming this year. Now, I just released a video on it this morning on the second channel. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out right after this one. Some are saying it could be worse than 2008. Now, I cover all the data for you in that video. That's on the second channel again, Steve Ram Finance. So if you're not a part of that channel, go subscribe. I'll pin a link down below. Turn on notifications. Watch that video to get caught up on the latest on the real estate market. Now, also, if you missed my video from earlier this morning regarding stimulus checks, we've got some new news coming out from Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, who's saying checks are a major problem. But we're also hearing from Democrats and from economists saying, no, they actually solve the problem, and they're the #1 provision that helped fight poverty, and we could actually use some more of them. And we're hearing that this is back on the table in consideration right now in the White House. Now, I'm going to keep you up to date because we're hearing that this could unfold here right before these elections, as a lot of people are saying this is needed. As you just saw, 88% of the population is saying we're on the wrong track. We need to focus on the economy. Now, while we're waiting to see what the federal government does, I'm also keeping you up to date on what's happening on state, city, and county levels. And I'm going to be releasing a master list here of all the checks that are available to you very soon. And I'm keeping you up to date. If you missed my last video, check it out on all the checks coming out in the month of July. And it's very unfortunate to see that there are all of these programs that have been going on for so long. And literally, I list for you one that only has been given out 1% of the funding. And just people do not know about these programs. And if they miss out on the opportunity, money just goes back to the federal government and you miss out on that money that you should have received. I'm going to make sure that you know about everything here on the channel so you don't miss out. So keep an eye out for that. But you guys, we're going to dive into the video footage and the articles as to what Joe Biden signed, what he did today. As take a look, just coming out, Biden signs executive order to protect U.S. abortion access and urges Americans to vote, vote, vote. And he's going to discuss in the very beginning of this the economy. Then I'm going to share with you a small portion of the speech where he discusses abortion, and he's also going to be saying, yes, you must get out there and vote in these midterm elections, but if he wants people to vote in his favor, he's going to have to address this economy. Take a look, another one coming out 7 minutes ago. Impassioned Biden signs an order on abortion access, and Biden signs executive orders on abortion access amid pressure from Democrats. So let's go ahead and dive into the video footage so you can hear it for yourself, what Biden had to say on the economy, abortion, and voting. Now, before we do though, if you could do me a quick favor, if you appreciate the updates, keeping you up to speed on everything going on, don't forget, smash that like button for me. Just takes a second, helps me out a ton with the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much. Also, if you want to stay up to date, it's free. Why not? Come join the Ram fam. All you got to do is very quickly smash the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. Any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. And with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, so here's an article that just came out 7 minutes ago that's going to give us a little bit of context before we dive into the video footage. So this just came out and says that President Joe Biden delivered impassionate remarks Friday, today, condemning the extreme Supreme Court majority that ended a constitutional right to abortion and pleaded with Americans that were upset with the decision to go out and vote in November. Now, he signed an executive order to try to protect access to the procedure under mounting pressure from fellow Democrats to be more forceful in his response to the ruling. Now, the action that Biden outlined, they are intended to mitigate some of the potential penalties that women seeking abortion may face after the ruling. But his order cannot restore access to abortion in the more than a dozen states where strict limits or total bans have gone into effect. Now, about a dozen more states are set to impose additional restrictions as well. And Biden acknowledged the limitations facing his office, saying it would require an act of Congress to restore nationwide access to the way that it was before the June 24th decision. And he said the fastest way to restore Roe is to pass a nationwide law. And the challenge is go out and vote. For God's sake, there is an election in November. So he's saying if you want to overturn the Supreme Court's ruling to overturn Roe v. Wade, well, you're going to have to go out and vote. And a lot of people are poised to go out and vote because they are upset with the president and the administration for not addressing the economy. So he's actually going to need to get them on board. And to do so, we're hearing there could be executive orders, more so coming, maybe for stimulus provisions, checks, child tax credits. We will see. I will keep you up to date. But people are saying he has got to address the economy. So let's go ahead and take a look at the video footage. He's going to talk about the economy and how well it's doing in the beginning of the speech. Then he's going to be talking about abortion. And he's going to say you need to go out and vote in these midterm elections. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Good morning, everyone. Before I speak to the Supreme Court extreme decision overturning Roe, I want to comment on one piece of good news, economic good news today. Today, the Labor Department reported that we added 372,000 jobs last month. 372,000. Here's why it's important. Our private sector has now recovered all of the jobs lost during the pandemic and added jobs on top of that. We have more Americans working today in the private sector than any day under my predecessor, more today than any time in American history. Today. In the second quarter of this year, we created more jobs than any quarter under any of my predecessors in nearly 40 years before the pandemic. Think about that. At a time when our critics said the economy was too weak or having already added more jobs we had already added more jobs in my first year as president of any president in history, we still added more jobs in the past 3 months than any administration in nearly 40 years. Now look, I know times are tough. Prices are too high. Families are facing the cost of the living crunch. But today's economic news confirms the fact that my economic plan is moving this country in a better direction. The unemployment rate is near a historic low of 3.6%. Private sector jobs are at a record high. Gas prices, still way too high, have fallen now 25 days in a row. And this week we saw the second largest single day decrease in gas prices in a decade. We still have a lot of work to do. I'm not suggesting there's a lot more work to do, but I am suggesting we're making significant progress. The program is working. Now, with the Vice President, Secretary Becerra, and Deputy Attorney General Monaco, I want to talk about an executive order I'm signing to protect reproductive rights of women in the aftermath of the Supreme Court's terrible, extreme, and I think so totally wrong-headed decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. In both formalized actions I announced right after the decision, as well as adding new measures today. Let's be clear about something from the very start. This was not a decision driven by the Constitution. Let me say it again. This was not a decision driven by the Constitution. And despite what those justices in the majority said, this was not a decision driven by history. You've all probably had a chance to read the decisions and the dissent. The majority rattles off laws from the 19th century to support the idea that Roe was a historic anomaly because states outlawed abortion in the 1880s, toward the end. But that's just wrong. The truth is, today's Supreme Court majority that is playing fast and loose with the facts. Even 150 years ago, the common law and many state laws did not criminalize abortion early in pregnancy, which is very similar to the viability line drawn by Roe. But the Dobbs majority ignores that fact. And the Dobbs majority ignores that many laws are enacted to protect women at the time when they were dying from unsafe abortions. This is the horrific reality that Roe sought to end. The practice of medicine should not, emphasize, should not be frozen in the 19th century. So what happened? The dissenting opinion says as clear as you can possibly say it. And here's the quote. Neither law nor facts nor attitudes have provided any new reason to reach a different result than Roe and Casey did. And has changed, and all that's changed is this court, end of quote. All that's changed is this court. That wasn't about the Constitution or the law. It was about a deep, long-seating antipathy toward Roe and the broader right to privacy. As the justice wrote in their dissent, and I quote, "The majority has overruled Roe and Casey for one and only one reason, because it has always despised them, and now it has the votes to discard them," end of quote. So what we're witnessing wasn't a constitutional judgment. It was an exercise in raw political power. On the day the Dobbs decision came down, I immediately announced what I would do, but I also made it clear, based on the reasoning of the court, there is no constitutional right to choose. The only way to fulfill and restore that right for women in this country is by voting, by exercising the power at the ballot box.
So there you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think that this is a good move by the president, signing this executive order, trying to limit the restrictions on women that are seeking abortions? Do you think that more executive orders should be coming for the economy and stimulus, child tax credits, wiping out student loan debt? We've heard that there's a laundry list that people want to see done to help out with the economy, and people are not happy with the way things stand with our economy. And you guys, we're going to see. We're hearing that as we get closer to these elections, there's going to be a lot more ramping up, and I will keep you up to date every step of the way. And as always, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, take a quick second, smash the like button for me. Helps out the channel a ton. Thank you so much. Leave your comments, share this out. If you want to stay up to date, it's free. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. Consider joining my second channel, Steve Ram Finance. Check out that video I just released today on the real estate market, as we're hearing about a potential crash coming right now in 2022. And also keep an eye out for that comprehensive list of all checks on all levels, states, cities, and counties, so you don't miss out on anything. But with that being said, you guys, once again, thank you so much for joining me. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.